I mean, a combination of like and in your mouth, probably. Yeah, that'll end you. Jesus Christ. People are sick! Welcome back to the channel. Today we will be reading some of the craziest stories that I've collected from 2024. These are a mix of stories between my comedy shows, YouTube comments, and TikToks. So let's get into the mess. Patient was on our cath lab table ready for a heart cath. The only reason we would ever call the cath lab is if you were having a heart attack. And a heart attack is when there is a blockage preventing blood from going to your heart. They will go in, they will prop open your arteries, put a tube in there so that it allows blood to flow directly into your heart. He has anxiety and kept saying he has bad luck. I assured him he was safe with our team. He said, no, you don't understand. My luck is bad. He said, I'm so unlucky that if you threw me in a barrel of titties, I'd come out sucking my thumb. I mean, that is pretty unlucky, but where is this barrel? And is there a line? Is there an appointment that I can sign up for?
I was physically assaulted at work last week, and I have still not recovered. I was on night shift, it's 3 in the morning. 15-year-old boy checks in. I'm like, cool, let's go see. He's not even triage yet. I don't even know why he's here. Walk into the room. He's having ear pain. Suspicious. Ear pain started acutely. No medical problems, no sickness, no fevers. Just woke up suddenly with terrible ear pain, and he is uncomfortable. Break out my handy dandy otoscope and go to work, take a quick peek, and all of a sudden there is something that flies into my face. I scream, the kid screams, the mom screams, I drop the otoscope, the nurse screams, everyone's screaming, people come running into the room. Ear canals make a nice, warm, dark, cozy place for bugs to sleep, but sometimes they get stuck and they don't know the way out.
Yep.
At least his pain's better, and now I own earplugs.
Happens more often than you think. Got little critters crawling into your ears. Luckily, it flew out. I've seen it where like there is a bug in the ear and we're like trying to get that thing out. The body breaks apart, so it comes out in pieces. You know, happens. You come in with, well, we don't know if there's a bug in your ear. We would look, and if there's a bug in your ear and it's stuck, there's a few things we can do. We can either go in there and try to pull it out, or we can do what's called an irrigation, where we would take water and we would shoot it into your ear, high pressure water, shoot it into your ear like a water gun, and hopefully, drown that sucker out. That machine she was using, an otoscope, great way to look into the ear canal for anything. Use it all the time. When people come in with ear pain or they can't hear, it's usually earwax that's built up. While we're here, big PSA, stop using Q-tips directly into your ears, okay? And people do tell me there's something called a G-spot in the ear that they hit when they use Q-tips. I don't give a f. Stop shoving Q-tips into your ears. The only thing it does is just trap the earwax into your ears, and by the time you come to the ER, I'm the one trying to shoot that little ball of wax out of your ear. It's gonna be painful. Don't do it. Working in a jail, a man hid a Sharpie that got stuck because he inserted it cap first. Got it stuck where? The charge nurse at the jail told him to pull down his pants so she could see he was telling the truth. Okay, he was shoving it up his ass. Sure enough, there it was. He said he wanted it out and started to panic. She says, I'm just going to grab it.
That's what she said.
The deputy jokingly copies the nurse's accent and the inmate starts laughing. Poor nurse was playing whack-a-mole, which made him laugh harder. As she is trying to catch it, she starts yelling at him to stop laughing because it's going in and out so fast, she can't catch it. Stop laughing! Oh, I didn't know it could do that. Usually it just goes one way in, one way out. It doesn't really pulsate ever. First brown marker in the history of jail. That's what that is. Jails, they have their own nurses. If anything ever happens to you while you're in jail, you don't automatically go to the ER. You don't have to. There's the medical professionals at the jails to help you. There's probably not that many. So these inmates are probably very familiar with all these nurses. So I'm sure this is a nice little wholesome gathering, trying to pick a marker out of this man's ass. I mean, they're all laughing, so it's a good time. Hope she was wearing gloves.
So one of the craziest stories I've had dealt with as a urologist was one time I was called to the emergency room for someone who had air conditioning wire stuck in his bladder and urethra. And what happened was he Googled something called urethral play. Please don't Google that. It's basically sexual foreplay where you insert things into the urethra. He had found some tubing and inserted it into his urethra, into his bladder, and unfortunately it actually coiled up, knotted up inside his bladder. He could not remove it. I was called in to go ahead and remove it, so I had to do a cystoscopy at the bedside, looking in with a flexible scope, getting a grasp for transfer. And with my colleague, we were able to grab the end of the wire, actually where the knot was. We couldn't undo the knot internally inside the bladder, so we grabbed it and we pulled it out. And there was some significant discomfort with that, so please don't do that.
Significant discomfort. That's how she described it. If you don't know what your urethra is the opening from your bladder to the hole that lets you pee, okay? That is where he was sticking this air conditioning wire that got stuck. Urologists are people who have to deal with a lot of penises. We call them the dick doctor in the ER for fun. Urethral play. I had no idea. If he came into the ER, first thing we would do is we would consult psych just to make sure he has all his marbles. We would check to see if the wire was still there, make sure he's not lying. We'd probably get a scan, and then we would immediately call urology down. We're not dealing with that. Ain't no way. That is a dick doctor problem. We will be talking about you in the break room though, good sir. As an ER doc, I once pulled a bunch of grocery store plastic bags, still all attached, probably about 10 feet worth, out of a 90-year-old nursing home patient's ass. I feel like a magician. That is new. What were they doing there? How did he get that many plastic bags to shove up his ass in a nursing home? They're not grocery shopping. Where do you get this? Patient sounds like the kind of person that gets their milk triple bagged. If they're still attached, it means he didn't stick them in one by one. He said, how many can I fit? And he tied 10 of them together. And he said, this is long enough. He started shoving it into his ass. While nobody was watching. He's in a nursing home. He probably had a roommate. This patient was definitely Asian. This is like something my mom and dad would do. This is something my grandmas would do. Save plastic grocery bags just in case they need it. You know what they use it for? Trash bags for our bathrooms.
This happened when I was in my first year of nursing school. I got a job as a nursing assistant at a local nursing home. The director of nurses was very nice. She dressed a little odd for an upper manager. I get notified the next day I'm supposed to report to have my skill level assessed along with a few other new hires. We go into an empty room and there is our DON in a leotard. And here is where it gets crazy. She plays the part of a resident. She has us simulate doing pericare on her. She tells me to transfer her from the bed to a wheelchair. She licks me across the face and in shock I drop her.
What the f?
She tells me I need to be ready for anything. The next guy, she grabs his crotch. We're all really uncomfortable and I guess she sensed it and we were dismissed. A week later, I come in for my shift and there is a lot of commotion in the front office. Police are there. Apparently, the DON was working on a dead nurse's license and had spent the last 10 years going from place to place, job to job, using dead nurses' licenses. She had half a dozen aliases, and I'm always very interested when I see a new DON to see if she ever pops up again. This all happened in 1990.
Well, ain't that a story? Pericare is when we have to wash and clean up the genital area of a patient. So she had them in her office. She was in a leotard and she had them, listen, it is time to practice your skills. At the top of the list, clean my pussy. It sounds like they did it. Let's clean the G-spot. What the hell? Anyone else getting serial killer vibes? I'm getting serial killer vibes. This is unheard of. And then she licks one of them. She was doing this for what, 10 years? That's impressive. Did she kill those nurses? No, she doesn't kill those nurses. This has gotta be. Is there a Netflix documentary about this yet? It's gonna happen. And can it be starring me? I would love to play this character. The first sign that something was not right was when you walked in and she was in a leotard. If it was a hospital gown, maybe, but a leotard? Back in my residency, a guy came in with what he claimed was just a stomachache. Turned out the man had swallowed an entire fork. Of course he did. When asked him why, he said, I wanted to see if I could do it. This sounds like a fraternity hazing. Why are people doing it? But wait, it gets better. Oh, of course it does. During the x-ray, we realized the fork wasn't even the only foreign object in there. He had somehow managed to swallow half a dozen coins, a toy car, and part of a TV remote over the years, just for fun. It was all still in there? The kicker, he said, oh, those aren't bothering me. It's the fork.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Okay, sir, first of all, it's not just the fork, okay? It is a buildup of all those things that have been in your stomach, and there's no space left. The fork wasn't the only problem. coins, toy cars, and TV remotes. This is a medical condition called pica, when you swallow things that aren't food. So it's not his fault. He was probably born this way. He said it was just a fork. Can you imagine? Doctor, can you leave the rest of the stuff in there? Just take the fork out. I like my things in my stomach. Ultimate safety deposit box. Where's it gonna go? Nobody's gonna get to it. It's your stomach.
Are you sure about that?
The only way to get it out? Surgery. I am a paramedic. I picked up a patient, male, 27 years of age, unconscious. His female partner said they were shrimping right before he passed out. I don't know what that is. I looked up the definition of shrimping. It's where a man ejaculates into a woman's rectum. I'm gonna stop. Ejaculates into a woman's rectum, then inserts a straw and sucks out the semen and blows it back into her mouth.
I'm gonna go throw up now.
Yeah! Let's go! He passed out because she farted when he inserted the straw. That's what made you pass out? When she farted? I mean, a combination of like and cum in your mouth, probably. Yeah, that'll end you. Jesus Christ. People are sick! God, I wish I had a time machine to go back in time before I knew what shrimping was. That is crazy! Why is it called shrimping? That makes no sense to me. What happens if you come into the ER for passing out from your own cum and someone else's fart? I mean, I feel like if I was the one shrimping and the paramedics showed up and my boyfriend was unconscious, like, would I have to explain what I was doing? Just, he's unconscious, just fix him. Why explain what was happening? Listen, was there semen in his mouth? Maybe that was why. She had to explain, like, I didn't kill him. He passed out because, you know, he was shrimping. Shrimping sounds like a fake term Law & Order SVU made up. That's what that sounds like. If anybody has any idea why it's called shrimping, comment below. Let us know, and we want a full and detailed explanation. If you've ever gone shrimping, let us know what they could have done differently to help boyfriend not pass out and save everybody a trip to the ER. If you guys have any more crazy hospital stories or patient stories, I would love to hear them, so please comment below. I am currently on tour for all of 2025. Link and description is in my bio. I hope to see you guys soon. Goodbye, motherfuckers, and Happy New Year.